But to me, it's like I sat down in the chair and I'm bald. I don't know how she could possibly fade me from here, right? So, long story short, like we argue for maybe 5 minutes, like 5 total minutes, and I give up. I'm like, you know what? I can't do anything about it. Like I'm not. You can't take the hair and put it back on my head, so I'm gonna just let it ride.
Yeah.
Right. So she continues to fade me. She can tell that I'm hot because I'm sitting there like fist clenched. I'm mad as shit, and I'm not talking to her.
Arthur fist.
Right. She's trying to talk to me like talking about basketball and talking about sports. And you know, I mean, like I said, like I like talking about sports when I'm in the chair. So I'm not talking at all. I'm one-word answers. It's like, yeah, okay, that's it.
Yeah, you're gonna have me look like Pitbull.
Exactly. So she finishes fading me. She finishes fading me, and I tell you, this is one of the best fades ever. So I don't like. I'm pissed that I'm bald, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, this fade is.
He was impressed.
Somehow, from a 0 to a half, she was able to give me a fade.
It was lit.
What up? What up? Welcome back to Save It for the Pod. It's episode 2. Hopefully y'all enjoyed episode 1, the introduction of the group. But man, how y'all feel after that first episode?
Good. I think we have to introduce why we named it Save It for the Pod.
Oh yeah,
how that happened.
That's a good point. So yeah, we definitely didn't touch on that in the first episode, but Save It for the Pod. Was that Luke that came up with the name?
No, I
thought I came up with the name, but everyone has a different.
It was a combination of Tatiana and me. Because we were talking when we first discussed this the idea and how we were gonna make it work, what we were gonna cover and whatever, and it ended up just being like, oh, just have discussions like we're having now, just on the podcast, record them, and so on. But every time we were talking about something, it was all over FaceTime or on a group FaceTime. Tatiana would come from the back and say, "Save for the pod, save for the pod," or "Save for the podcast, save for the podcast." And we were thinking about names. We were talking, and then we get into talking about other stuff again. She said it again, and I was like, "Yo, why don't we just make that the name? The Save It for the Pod, or Save It for the Podcast?"
She's actually pissed that we made it Save It for the Pod and not Save It for the Podcast. She really wanted it to be.
It's just a mouthful to say Save It for the Podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess we can. Whoever listens to this can tell us in the comments or whatever, messages, whatever it's saying.
Well, if she's
she's gonna message us.
That's true. That's true.
Well, yeah. You guys let us know what you think. You guys let us know what you think. Save it for the pod or save it for the podcast.
I mean, all of Jesus. I'm still smacked, I guess, from episode 1. But obviously, all of us like Save It for the Pod. I don't think any of us like Save It for the Podcast. But let's jump right into it. I think something. So we an opinionated group, all 5 of us, and that's why we argue so much. And a lot of times people can't get their opinions in on when we are arguing, and why if we ever have girls that are outside the group hanging out with the group, they're like, "Oh my God, why are they fighting? I hate this." So. But one thing that's been on me and Luke's mind for a long time, us specifically, and I'm sure y'all have had past experiences or current experiences with this, but fucking barbers, man. Mad disrespectful. We talked about how we all in relationships in episode 1, and we all have relationships with barbers.
With the exclusion of myself.
But you've had relationships with barbers.
I haven't had a relationship with a barber in like 10 years.
But you still know the relationship with a barber is you need to be loyal to that barber.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I understand a relationship with a barber, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Don't disagree.
No, fam, it's...
So we all know about a relationship
Why did you say you didn't want us to think that you were kissing your barber or something?
No.
You're a barber, what am I talking about?
Alright, anyways, so us as customers, we like loyal boyfriends. As Luke said, you loyal to your barber. Every guy knows this. I don't know how girls are with their hairstylists, but guys, we are loyal to our barber. I've had my same barber probably since like beginning of middle school, 5th grade in Florida. But barbers, they don't feel that same side of the relationship, that they like the cheating as boyfriend of the relationship. Like if we were the girlfriend, they the nigga that's stepping out, doing whatever the fuck they feel like they need to be doing, and not treat us with the same respect.
To me, it's a love-hate relationship with my bar. Like if I moved states to Kentucky. Like when I'm looking for a barber, I'm looking for someone who's gonna show up on time, someone who's obviously gonna give me a good ass cut, but a good price, someone who's gonna show up on time, someone who can hold a conversation type stuff, right?
Exactly.
So that's what I look for in all.
Oh wait, you
hold a conversation.
Yeah, you do talk to your barber.
I talk to my barber.
Yeah.
Nigga looking for a girlfriend.
Long walks on the
No.
beach.
Exactly. I talk to my barber. all the time.
Minus Kenny, which is a barber that I've had since 5th grade, and me and Luke have shared. Pause. But he's the only barber I really talk to because we're both University of Miami football fans, so we talk about that all the time.
But one thing I've never been able to find when I'm switching like to barbers, or when I'm trying to find a new barber when I move places, is someone who knows time management.
Exactly.
Bro, that's really what this topic is about. Is disrespectful barbers, the love-hate relationship with barbers, and realizing that if I book an appointment for 6:30, I might not get cut till 8 p.m.
And Luke, we didn't talk about this episode 1, but going back to the most in the house, Luke is by far the most impatient in the house. So if Luke sets an appointment, he's expecting that person to be there, not on time, but before time.
So the thing is, for me, like if I make an appointment to get a haircut, if I know, okay, I'm going out, like I go on a lot of vacations. If I'm going on a vacation with my girl on Friday, if my flight is on Friday morning, and I book an appointment for Thursday night because I want to have a fresh cut when I go wherever I'm going, then if you hit me up or you're like, yo, I forgot we had an appointment, like
disrespectful.
Can we reschedule?
Disrespectful.
Can we
Also, just
reschedule?
weekly haircuts. Like
I get weekly haircuts. I do.
Sometimes 4 days go by and he needs another haircut. Like Luke is obsessed with getting a haircut.
I get a haircut once a week.
At least.
But at the same time, my haircuts are every Thursday at 6:30. Like I have it planned. And if I'm going out of town on Friday and I know I need a haircut, if my barber hits me up and is like, we need to reschedule because I forgot you had an appointment, like my appointment's the same every week.
Bruh.
So that shit irks me.
And if it was because I follow a couple of barbers on Instagram, and all the time I see them are like complaining about a customer being late. Like, you need to respect my time. Like, I have a bunch of people waiting, but we don't get that same courtesy as customers. Y'all can just, because we have no one else. And 9 times out of 10, if we booked an appointment with you, we're not trying to go to another barber. Because usually the first barber in the shop is the most trash nigga. So we're not trying to go to that nigga. And he's the one that asks you right away, oh, you waiting on somebody?
Because his chair always empty.
But exactly. Nigga sitting on his phone, chilling. Bruh, the other day when I was in the shop, when I got a cut, this nigga was like making Instagram videos, and he never has anybody in his chair, but he was just making Instagram videos, rapping along to Lil Wayne. I forgot what song it was, but even my barber was looking at him like, what the fuck wrong with this nigga?
I just switched barbers like a month ago. I've been going to this person for a long ass time every Thursday at 6:30. He hits me up, the person I've been going to for a while, and he's like, I'm gonna be a few minutes late. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. Like, if you're gonna be 15 minutes late, I know traffic and all that shit. Second week passes by, he's like, I'm gonna be 15 minutes late. I'm like, all right, you know what? It happens. It happened the second time. Third time, he hit me up. My appointment's at 6:30. He hit me up at 6:10. He's like, yo, I'm out of town. I don't know if I'll be back, but I'll hit you up when I get back in town. So I'm like, all right, I obviously need to change barbers. Like, this is a
habitual,
right, habitual thing. So I hit up another barber that I was going to before, and I was like, okay, I need a cut because I'm going out of town, right? I go to get my hair cut to this new barber. I walk into the barber shop, and as I walk in for my appointment, like my appointment's at 6:30 or whatever, I walk in at 6:28. He's walking over to get his hair cut. but I was hot. I'm talking. He's like, "Yo, give me a second. It's gonna be quick. I'm just getting my haircut." I'm like, "I got an appointment at 6:30. You want to be making money, right?
Yeah,
You're here to
exactly.
make money, but you're about to sit down and get your haircut."
What if he had an appointment at 6:30 too?
But when I contacted him, I was like, "Can I come in at 6:30?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm free."
Yeah.
So I go in at I go in early at 6:28.
You probably should have showed up at 6:15 and stop him from getting his haircut.
But I should have. But he also stays like an hour, so I had to drive him in.
Yeah.
So I pull up, and I walk in. I walk in, and this man is getting his hair cut. He had just sat down to get his hair cut. 7:10. By 7:10, he finished. I'm in the chair at 7:15. I get my hair cut. I'm in and out, and I get a text from the first barber, and he's like, "Yo, I'm still not in town." It might be like 8:30. 9 o'clock. He's like, "I'm still not in town." I'm like, "Bro, my appointment was at 6:30.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna wait around for that." So that shit is wild. Like twice in the same day.
Yeah.
I mean, they just.
So for you talked about how you're looking for somebody that obviously is good at cutting hair and that can hold. So is it for you? Is it the experience?
It's the experience for
It's
sure.
Or
It's
is it mainly about? Because for me, it's just about the cut.
well for me
Mostly pay.
it's about the cut. Like if I walk in and I don't get a good cut, like whether they talk to me or not, it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Right, but if they do talk about sports or something, or ask me like what I do, or want to spark conversation, then it helps to like pass the time and build that relationship with your barber. But at the same time, if the cut's trash, I'm not gonna come back.
So do you think you could
first
trust?
and foremost is the cut.
Do you think you could trust yourself with cutting your own hair?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Because
so
that's same with me. Like if I could cut my own hair, I would do that in a
That's
heartbeat.
what I cut my hair.
that's what I do too.
It's just a little different.
But okay, so Zach, if it's about to cut right, and you go to a new barber, why not just go to do your first chair?
Because that nigga's trash.
Yes.
The amount of times because I'm not one. I know some people are like, I will absolutely not go to a different barber. If I'm in a press situation where I absolutely need to get a cut, then okay, I'll trust the nigga in the first chair. And 9 times out of 10,
It's
they're
trash.
maybe not trash, but it's not what I'm looking for, and it's not what the nigga I typically go to. What his cuts look like. You know me? Because what kind of sparked this whole thing, besides Luke's situation, was when I texted y'all and I was forced to go to a different nigga. Like the fresh was decent, but it wasn't. What did I say? The cut was decent, but it wasn't what
You expect.
my typical barber's cuts look like.
But don't you
and
think
it looked
that's
weird on me.
Don't you think that's unfair putting your old barber's expectations on a new nigga instead of just appreciating
No,
the
because
decent
what
cut?
you want is if you go buy vegan food and it's not vegan,
Exactly.
It's got
what you
cheese in it.
expected.
And I'm showing them
That's
pictures.
different.
It's not like I'm
Alright.
just telling them this. I'm literally showing them pictures like this is what I want it to look like.
Oh, that's fair. I'm just asking. Don't
And
kill
also, if you walk into a barbershop and the first person or the person who like talks to you first doesn't have anybody in their chair, then you know that they're not good. If they're not booked throughout the day, like most of the time, they're usually not a good barber. Like,
well, are you guys saying the first chair, the guy closest to the front door, is usually
Yeah.
the worst?
Yeah.
I mean,
Usually.
you guys went to market. His chair is right at the front.
I mean, it's not always, but
normally
but
yeah.
most of the time,
It's always
more
the
often-
empty chair.
more
Let's just say
often
that.
than not, it's
Because
either the first chair or
my
the-
barber in Deerfield, the one you talking about, he had the first chair, but obviously that's who I went to. But
more often than not, it's the first.
I mean,
and the empty chair.
not the barber shop that I go to. The dude in the first chair is probably the second best in the
Let's
shop.
talk about the time that you took Luke to.
Oh yeah, to my barber.
to your barber.
Yo, that was the funniest time ever.
Yeah.
So, little backstory. I was like, Luke, let's go to my barber and get a cut. Luke actually gets a flat tire right before. Right? Wasn't it a
Yeah.
flat tire? Like, right before. So his day's already horrible.
I'm pissed.
And so he finally gets it fixed. He gets to the barber shop. I get my cut. I got my. First off, I'm a whore when it comes to my head. So I'm like sitting in everybody's chair.
Whoa.
No, I'm talking about barber shop, bro. Keep your head out the gutters. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a whore when it comes to head.
In my head, you know what I'm saying?
When it comes to my-
Hey, interpret what you want.
Dear.
Interpret what you want. But nah, I just go whoever's ready to cut my hair, I'm ready to go. Like I really don't care. Hair is such a fickle thing to me. Like as long as it looks decent, I'm good. And so.
But you a cute ass nigga, so you can get away with anything. Like the rest of us, we borderline cute or cuddly, as Phil likes to say. So
if they mess up, I still a hat on, you know.
Yeah,
it's all good. But yeah. So I got my hair cut, and this is a lady barber I was getting my hair cut by, and she does a good job on my head. And she's not my barber anymore. Let's just say that. But Luke walked because of Luke. Actually, I could never look at her the same because of what Luke did. So yeah, I get my hair cut. Luke comes walking in the shop late because he's tired, and he sits down in her chair. And it was like almost like an immediate argument. Yeah. And I'll let you take over from there.
I mean, she asked me what I wanted, so I'm already upset, obviously, because the tire. I'm obviously upset because the tire and because I'm late, right? But I pull up, sit in the chair, and she asked me what I want. So I already know the numbers. Like normally I get a 2 on top with a bald fade on the side or a blowout on the side. And so I'm letting her know, I'm like, okay, I want a 2. So she goes over with a 2, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of long. That don't look like a normal 2, like what I normally get. Like I can usually eyeball it. So I'm like, okay, the next step down from a 2 would be a 1.5. So I'm like, okay, let me get a 1.5. I don't know where she got it from, but she jumped down to a half. She jumped down to a half, so she goes and puts the clippers on my head, and I see the hair falling on my chest, and I'm like, why is there so much hair coming? So she turns me around to the chair and is like, is this what you want? Like, is this fine? Like, just confirm before she continues. And I'm like,
at that point, it's too late.
Exactly.
You already started.
She can only go lower.
Yeah.
Right? And she can only take off the guard and go 0. Right? So I'm looking in the thing and I'm like, that's kind of low.
Wait, where did she cut the hair from? Was it on top of your head?
It was on top.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
It was on top.
Yeah.
And so she cuts it.
Luke's getting hot. Just thinking
I'm pissed right now. But
you should have been there. That was hilarious.
Well, because we were just arguing the whole time, but she's like, you asked for a 1.5, and she showed me, and she's like, and a 1.5 is lower than a 1. And she was like, yeah, all of the halves are lower than the whole number. So like a 2.5 is lower than a 2, a 1.5 is lower than a 1. So what would a half be?
Where did this bitch learn math?
Where did she get her barber's certificate?
Yeah.
No, where did she learn math, bro? That's the
I
question.
know. So I'm sitting there, hot. Like I was mad already, but I'm sitting there in the chair, and I'm bald. Like I'm practically bald on top.
And the thing is, for Luke, going to the barbershop is like going to the spa. Like,
Exactly.
He wants to be
It's
pampered.
relaxing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know every week at a certain time I'm gonna get my cut, and that's gonna be my moment for relaxation.
The Canadian and Luke.
But to me, it's like I sat down in the chair and I'm bald. I don't know how she could possibly fade me from here, right? So, long story short, like we argue for maybe 5 minutes, like 5 total minutes, and I give up. I'm like, you know what? I can't do anything about it. Like you can't take the hair and put it back on my head, so I'm gonna just let it ride.
Yeah.
Right? So she continues to fade me. She can tell that I'm hot because I'm sitting there like fist clenched. I'm mad as shit, and I'm not talking to her.
Arthur Fist.
Right? She's trying to talk to me like talking about basketball and talking about sports. And you know, I mean, like I said, like I like talking about sports when I'm in the chair. So I'm not talking at all. I'm one-word answers. It's like, yeah, okay, that's it.
Yeah, you're gonna have me look like Pitbull.
Exactly. So she finishes fading me. She finishes fading me, and I tell you, this is one of the best fades ever. So I'm pissed that I'm bald, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, this fade is.
He was impressed.
Somehow, from a 0 to a half, she was able to give me a fade.
It was lit.
Right? That blended well. And so that experience to me, like that wasn't the first time that a barber has fucked me up and like made me more bald than I wanted to be, because I get cut so often, so I feel like it would happen more often. But at the same time, like that was one of the experiences for me that like I tell every barber from now on. I tell him, I was like, you won't believe the shit that I fucking been through.
Wait, did you?
It's a therapy session instead of actually getting your cut.
Even though she made you mad and your fade was fresh, did you give her a lookie
Yeah,
tip?
I gave her. A
Oh
good
my
tip.
god.
Did you give her a lookie tip though?
No, I didn't give her a lookie tip.
Okay, then you didn't give her a good tip then.
Yeah.
Luke gives the most insane tips. Like
No.
usually on a
Bro, you tipped Kenny once the cost of your haircut.
yeah. Usually I give a $5 tip.
Because it was Christmas.
It,
He's like $80. He paid $80 for a cut.
What's the most you've paid for a tip, if you don't mind sharing?
with the like the most for a cut.
Just the tip. How much is the most you gave for a tip?
Pause.
I
Yeah.
don't know, like $50 or something.
Right, that is insane.
That's more than your haircut.
But it's not all. That was one time
It's
for
not
some like, bro. Kenny worked 2 jobs.
Yeah,
Right, and it's Christmas time. He got 2 kids. Like
yeah.
pushing a Corolla.
But he also had a charger
He
too.
did, but his wife. That's what his wife was driving.
Yeah,
Right, and he's in Deerfield in that shop, bro.
yeah.
Like, come on.
But now you're in a nice shop, so
He
he
is in a
came
nice
up.
shop.
That's the $50 you gave him. That's why you're in a nice shop
But,
now.
but
He came
I say that to say, fam, you get good. I just want to know if she got a lookie tip, right? Because you pissed off, you mad about your cut, but you like,
I think I
"Man,
might
this
have
shit-
tipped her 5 or 10 dollars. Like a 5.
this cut clean as
yeah,
hell."
5
So
is what I typically
yeah,
do.
that's a cheap tip.
Yeah, I
Jay,
remember the
in
cut,
your
and I was
stand.
like, yo, your man is kind of light.
Yeah, AJ was the first person to be like, "Yo, that's one of the best cuts I've seen you get." And I'm sitting there mad as hell because I'm bald.
Because his hair is short.
She,
I was actually gonna ask y'all.
she don't know her math, but she's nice at cutting hair.
I was actually gonna ask y'all. Have y'all gotten cuts from women barbers?
Yeah.
That was
I
the first
never
time,
had.
the first and only time.
I never have.
Yeah.
No, I've never had the opportunity to. Every shop I've been to, it's only been male barbers in there.
Because I feel like the attention to detail and the pamperness that's needed, I think women would definitely
Oh,
suit.
speaking of which, have y'all seen? I think she's based in Atlanta. I forget what her name is, but she gives. I don't know how it's legal, but she
Blowjobs.
gives blowjobs with the cuts. You can get a blowjob with the cut. You can have sex with the cut. I think with the condom on, with the condom off, it's cheaper and more expensive.
Wait,
Oh, dear.
she's riding you while she's cutting your hair?
Bro,
No.
yes, I forget
Not
what her
Miley.
name is.
That is
If
crazy.
anybody has found this, it would be Zach.
It would only be Zach.
No,
Yeah.
I saw this on. I wonder if you could see like recent because I looked her up. Okay, on Instagram on Snapchat, her name is
See the video. I wanna see the
Lola
video.
You have her on Snapchat?
Brazilian. No, because I looked her up, but she be giving some clean ass cuts.
That's not why I
If you
did it.
can
That's not why.
put this in post, Brandon, so people can see what the cuts look like. But y'all just look her up on Snapchat. But yeah, would y'all do that if your girl let you?
I would know.
If I could, I would not know. Because when I go to the barber, I like camaraderie, so I just want to be in there and just shoot the shit. So a lot
That's
of times,
true.
screaming, I used to go to barbers because dudes being there just talking shit, and we can just
Yeah.
vent and let out. So I don't want to. Oh, and this is I'm not even gonna say it, but it's like a male-dominated space, so that's what I like.
Yeah,
So I don't wanna
the
be in there getting
barber
it.
shop is the most toxic place on the planet, and
Exactly,
you're a
which
toxic
is
ass
why I
person.
like
So
being
that
in there.
exactly. So it
Conversations are wild.
makes sense for you to be in there. The amount of problematic shit that gets brought up in a barbershop, bruh. It's great. Did I ever tell y'all about the Hotep nigga in Toledo that I used to go to?
No,
Bro, I forget. I think it's Menace to. I forget which one it is. Or Don't Be a Menace to Society. While whatever the
drinking your juice in the hood, that's my shit.
So this nigga used to always play YouTube videos because he had the Roku or Fire Stick or whatever it was jailbroken. So he would always be playing some shit, but it would always be Hotep niggas. And for y'all that don't know what Hotep is, like super pro black, like speaking highly about the black man, speaking very low about the white people and how white people the devil, so on and so forth. Always be playing this shit, and not only be playing that, but just anytime we had a conversation, it was about racial injustice. It would be talking about how white people are this, how white people are that. So one day I go to the shop, and he was talking to somebody else, saying how his wife was going to be bringing food in. Tell me why when his wife finally came. Y'all already know
She's white.
she was white.
Hey, he really
How
is that nigga.
How you fucking talking this crazy about white people and got a white ass ugly ass wife, bro.
Have you not seen the Hotep nigga off Don't Be a Missing South Central?
That's what I'm saying. It was like. It was exactly like that.
He tapped a black girl like, excuse me, could you tap that white girl for me?
That's exactly what it was like, bro. This shit was so crazy to me. And the thing is, of course, when she was there, he wasn't saying any wild shit. But then, like, as soon as she left, it was just right back into how white people this, how white people that.
It sound like a nigga that got a white girl knocked up and can't get out of it because he want to be a good dad and break the stereotype.
I guess, man, but it's crazy to me, bro.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know, but if they happy and that's their relationship, then I guess that's their fucking relationship.
That's just weird.
Alright, so since we on the topic of relationships, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. This is something I've seen on social media every 3-5 months. It's just a circulating thing that I'm constantly seeing. And it's typically a video of someone proposing at somebody else's wedding. And again, me being the only engaged one in the group, I wouldn't give a shit.
Other than Bert.
Oh yeah, so AJ's brother is someone else that's a part of the group. We didn't bring him up last podcast, but he's someone else that is engaged as well. Another close friend of all of ours, especially AJ, obviously his brother. His wedding coming up soon, so we excited for that, Julian. Mine nowhere close to being planned, but again, I would not care if somebody proposed at my wedding. Maybe it's just a guy thing, or maybe it's just a me thing. But what do y'all think about somebody proposing at your wedding?
I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, for me personally, I love weddings and I love love. So the idea that someone else wants to share that moment with you, I welcome it, especially if my homeboys. Like when y'all came up to me and I'm like, yo, I'll propose to my lady at your wedding. I'd be like, bad. Just do it at the
What
end.
if they didn't let you know prior? Would that change things?
Yeah, because now you're trying to steal the spotlight. If you're going to steal the spotlight, just give me a heads up. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But my girl now, she wouldn't go.
But see, for me, it's still not a spotlight thing. Like if somebody surprised me, and maybe it's just my personality. Like I'm super laid back. Like nothing really phases me like that. But if somebody surprised me, like, all right, I'm happy for you, bro.
Nah, fam. It's surprising in the sense that if you're gonna do it, have courtesy to make sure I'm comfortable with it, right?
Yeah, I think
So it's
I
a
agree on
courtesy
that.
thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't surprise somebody at their own wedding. I think it would be fucked up, but at the same time, for me, I wouldn't trip about it.
Yeah, but Tatiana definitely.
Yeah, and it's I don't know why girls are like this. I mean, weddings,
I think
typical.
she's specific though with her dates, like especially you guys are trying to pick a date or like.
Yeah.
I mean, ideating on what day would be. She's like, it can't be same month as her birthday or like whatever. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about her moment too. You know, she wants that to be.
And that's what
happened
happened too.
once.
Weddings are more for the bride than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is sexist. I mean, we in new times now, so the wedding needs to be about the men too. If we talking equalness and equity, our men's opinion needs to
This
have
is
an
something
opinion.
I've heard. Do you think that when you propose to your girl, that the men should get something like an engagement ring as well, a watch or something?
I mean, I take a watch. I wouldn't be a requirement, but I just think the concept of marriage in itself, like. If we get married, I'm getting married to you too, so I'm trying to make it special. It ain't finna be just everything you want.
But I feel like dudes are like, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
True.
Me too. Like
Personally.
me specifically. Yeah.
True, but as things are changing, I think you see more men care about it, and they want to make it more like a celebratory thing, and they want to get their boys more involved. It used to be, hey, this is what we doing, cool. Now it's like, nah, let me throw my 2 cents in here. I got a voice too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't give a shit.
What about you, Lou? How would you
I
feel?
don't really care. I'm feeling the whole like it's a courtesy if you tell me, right? Like, yo, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you mind? For me, it's like, okay, go ahead. I'm gonna check with my girl probably.
Okay, not probably. Look, me and she.
Look at Lois Cambridge in the house.
You're gonna if Zach came up or Phil or whoever came up was like, yo, I'm about to
the
propose.
first person I'm
You'd be
gonna
like, oh, hold on, let me check.
Folks, I don't even think. I really don't think Luke would. I don't think Luke would check though. I think Luke would be like, I don't think that's a good idea. Good
No,
idea,
You might not even want to ask.
Nah.
You think you might want to reach out.
bro. There's been plenty of times,
Stop, bro.
bro.
Let him say.
Let me say my piece.
Nah,
I'd be like, hey, fool, I'm about to have an idea. I think I'm about to post my shorty at your wedding. Luke gonna be like, nah, G, I don't think that's gonna work. Come on, bro. I love my girl. I think this gonna be cool. Everybody there. We can share this moment. Nah, I'm like,
Like,
ask
that's my
Shorty if she think it's cool with her. I can't ask her, G. I can't. I think that's stupid, G. I can't ask her. She gonna say no. How she gonna say no, Luke? Just let me ask first. Don't ask her, G.
Bro, or he'll tell us that he's gonna ask you, just not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, bro, I would ask.
He's like, no, I invite her out every time.
Bro,
we're supposed
you
to go
would be
somewhere.
very reluctant
Okay,
to
I
ask.
do invite her.
ask.
But she gonna listen to this. She gonna be like, "You do invite me."
Bro,
I don't want to go. She'll tell me all the time. She'll be like, "I'm gonna hang out with my sisters. I'm gonna go to the mall with my sisters, like chill with them." On everything.
We know them too.
On everything.
bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the first time this is happening. I agree with Phil.
Y'all got it straight.
I'm telling you, bro, Luke will not ask her because he knows in his heart that she's not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And if Luke knows his girl don't like something, he's gonna dead that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you are. Am I lying? I'm lying, folks.
Bro,
Wrong.
yeah.
I honestly think that girls would be more offended at someone else proposing at their wedding than the groom not showing up to their own wedding. That's legit how I feel. Like, girls are so damn selfish, bro. They want everything to be about them.
I mean, historically, weddings have been about them, though, so you can't blame them.
Yeah.
But
That's what they.
Like, how you can't share happiness, bro? Happiness?
it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like Zach's there is having some therapeutic.
I think Zach wants one.
I also feel
Propose
like
at his wedding.
if somebody did that at my wedding, my fam's wild and they'd be disrespected. So, like, my family, the type of family, be like, nah, y'all got him fucked up. Like, we ain't going. So
Yeah.
I
But
mean, personally, I wouldn't care. But like you said, I would rather you tell me beforehand before it's just like, oh, what the
I
hell is
wouldn't care,
going
but I
on?
probably wouldn't do it.
well, I don't think
I wouldn't-
anyone here would do
I
it.
wouldn't ask. To begin with, I wouldn't be like, "Yo, Phil, I'm about to propose at your wedding. I'm gonna find my own time."
But low key, that sounds like some snake shit, though.
Well, that's
Like,
what I,
you
yeah,
just-
that's what I said like 2 minutes ago. Like, that's creep if you do that.
That sounds like some snake shit. Even if you asked me to propose at my wedding, even though I wouldn't care, like thinking from a different lens, that sounds creep. Like, fam, what are you doing?
I want it to be my own moment too.
We know that, Luke.
I want it to be my own moment because my girl wants it to be her moment. So that's why I want it.
It's my moment because it's her moment, and I'm a part of that moment.
I want it because she wanted it.
Now that I think about this more in depth, I feel like your girl, not like you specifically, my girl too, if I did it at someone else's wedding, I feel like they would also be offended that you proposed at someone else's wedding.
Right.
You couldn't be creative enough to pick your own day. You got to
Yeah.
do it at someone else's celebration.
I feel like they might.
Involved.
Yeah, I feel like they might cry and shit. Like, it would be a whole ordeal.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a way where it wouldn't matter, but like, and there's, I mean, if you can find a situation where like if it was planned and incorporated and whatever, and done in a special way, it would make sense. Or like if it was, like if it was like your brother or something, or like Justin for you or something like that, or and you guys made it like not a joint thing, but it was like planned and like a joint effort, then that would make sense. And I think the girl would be like, all right, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But if
you did it,
if you frugal though, it's a great idea. Like if you cheap and you got to cut back on expenses, you already got a camera crew there, everybody there, there's food there. That's a great idea.
I mean, you can be like frugal in the like my engagement wasn't really any because everyone here, I think minus Luke, was a part of the engagement when I proposed to Tatiana. I mean, all Tatiana's, and she's also extremely cheap as well. That's why we worked. But her only thing was she wanted nice pictures and videos as well. She didn't it didn't need to be in a romantic place. We didn't need to do a vacation. All that.
But
So
you know photographers.
exactly.
So you would like if you didn't know photographers, you had to pay for photographers.
But it wasn't even like it needs to be nice pictures and photographers like on a camera like that. Like it probably could have been fucking iPhone pictures, but they had to be. They couldn't just be some like blurry spur of the moment type old person taking the picture or some shit. Like it had to be.
But it was also creative because you did at your sister's graduation, so you knew you were going to get nice pictures there, right?
You stole the graduation.
No. It wasn't at her graduation. It wasn't at her graduation.
Speaking of still moments,
it wasn't at her graduation. It was.
She was on stage.
No, it was prior to my sister's graduation, and I told my sister what I was going to be doing because Zaid wasn't planning on doing graduation.
Yeah, she wasn't going to do.
She wasn't planning on doing grad.
Yeah.
I made my proposal, like the cover up was to do a graduation photo shoot for my sister.
Because of the people that wanted to be there.
And it just so I killed two birds with one stone. Like she even said, like, "Oh, I didn't care about these photos," which I think she does because she still uses them and she appreciated it.
Because they fire.
I made sure I was like, no, if we're gonna be here tonight, we're gonna get you.
She's so pissed that none of us told her she was wearing her cap backwards the entire time.
It's all right.
Oh, you think I did?
But like if you broke, right, it takes no real or frugal because I'm frugal, I'm cheap. But if you're trying to save money and you're not really trying to plan nothing, which is kind of fucked up because you should be, it's a special moment, you should go out and think out of the box and make it special.
Yeah.
But if you just like, I'm just gonna marry this girl, it's a great idea. And let me get married at your wedding.
Yeah.
So everything's nice already. Yeah. Like I'm already dressed up. Or let me get engaged at your wedding.
Yeah.
Like, cause you got everything you need there, your family there, your friends there.
Exactly. It's perfect.
Then you're gonna get double drunk because now it's a double celebration.
Yeah.
So, a side note, what do you guys think about, like, they always talk about the size of the rock matters, but, like, you've been seeing on, like, a lot of social media platforms that they've been going in with the diamond testers and testing the
Oh
rings.
my god. I'm scared for some, because I don't know. I just bought it from a jewelry store. I think it's real, but I didn't fucking test that shit myself.
You get that phone call, it's like,
This rock is fake.
I mean, I went to a legit jewelry store in Cincinnati. Like, I went to K Jeweler first, and then I went to, like, some local place, but it was still an extremely nice place. And, I mean, they inspected the diamond. I mean, I don't fucking know.
If it's fake, it's fake. If you don't know, it's a symbol.
I don't think Tatiana would care, honestly.
It depends on who you date, because at the end of the day, that shit don't mean nothing. Like, you gonna spend $10,000 on the ring, and your shorty leave, then what? You spend $10,000 on the ring.
She gets it back, right?
Nah, you don't get the ring back.
What?
What? You don't get the ring back in divorces? Women usually always keep the ring.
No, shit.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't think you should spend.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna preface this by saying if you're gonna buy something, buy your wife or your future wife something nice. Make sure it's real. Do your due diligence. But at the end of the day, it's a symbol.
Yeah.
So like some chicks, you can just give them a rubber band with a little jewel on it, and they be straight.
But weren't the introduction of having a ring was like in the early 1900s? That's when they started using like rings.
Yeah, but because
I
weddings,
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
But because weddings so expensive now, and like a lot of millennials, they don't even want diamonds. They want like birthstones and gems. Like they want something more creative.
Did too. Yeah. What I've been thinking for a while, even when I was younger, I was like, I don't know if I would do diamond. I'd probably do some other precious stone.
Yeah, do another stone. That doesn't cost you much.
Diamond has no character. It's just like glass.
That's. I mean, I think, and I also think that our generation, we seen through the bullshit. So I feel like a lot of this shit is just bullshit. Like
a lot of customs or like
it's all dumb. It don't mean nothing.
It's all made to make them to make money off.
Yeah, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
So,
but you brought up divorce 2 seconds ago. Typically, a toxic relationship would end a divorce, and that was something that we wanted to talk about. So, has anybody in here been a part of a toxic relationship?
All my relationships are toxic.
No, we all looked at him.
With the exception of my current girlfriend, which I think is why it's working because she's not toxic. But most of all of my relationships have been toxic in the sense that I'm very difficult to date. It's like I'm psycho.
Bro, you're just difficult to be around.
Yeah, I'm difficult to date. So it's like most women that do date me, like
Phil actually enjoys being difficult.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm the reason.
You're the toxic one, bro.
Maybe.
I don't know if you're toxic because I obviously never been in a romantic relationship with you, but like You do like being difficult.
That's who I am.
But it's because Danny's like kind of the.
Danny's
She's submissive. Like she's like, I'm gonna take the back
passive.
seat.
I don't know if submissive.
I don't know if
passive.
passive.
She's a
Probably the better
feminist,
word.
and that she's
It's probably
not
the
gonna
better
agree with that term.
Yeah.
Passive is probably the better word.
I think she kind of just ignores Phil's bullshit.
Do you
That-
think
that's
Danny's
what
gonna
it
listen
is.
to this?
And
Do y'all
Rose
think
is
y'all girls gonna listen to this?
No,
Yeah,
Tatiana's
Yes.
definitely gonna listen.
Danny's not gonna pay attention to this shit.
Tatiana's gonna be the first person.
I've never been in a toxic relationship. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
I,
can't speak on it.
I don't know if I would call it toxic.
What about Captain Jack?
Captain Jack.
Was not toxic.
Oh, okay.
We just towards
I
the
thought
end.
towards
Just
the
towards the
end,
end, we grew apart. That's all.
Okay.
Captain Jack.
The
chill.
one and only white girl I dated in high school. I mean, anytime it's your first love, she wasn't really my first love, but she was who I lost my virginity to. But I just feel
It just
like
felt like it.
I feel like she took advantage of me. I don't know if I call it toxic, and not took advantage of me in that way, but she just.
He was 100 pounds. He was 100 pounds.
She just did whatever the fuck she wanted, and like whatever she wanted at that moment, she's like, "I'm gonna do this shit." And Zach's
And
not
you let
going.
her.
Yeah, so
Coward.
I brought this up the other day. You were talking about like Eskimo brothers or some shit like that.
This man looked, hold on. This man looked really submissive.
Hey, we're gonna have to cut that off.
we thought that was gonna be something Phil said.
Nah, but you were talking about Eskimo brothers, and I talked about I don't think I have any Eskimo brothers. But that girl, she like we had been broken up, but we're fixing things and trying to get back together, and fuck one of my teammates. And it was just like constant shit like that. So I think that was the only toxic, quote unquote, toxic relationship I've been a part of.
Constantly fuck your teammates?
No, if that happened, I probably would have killed myself. But nah, she didn't.
Oh my Jesus! And for the people that don't know,
You okay?
Eskimo brothers
You okay?
are if you and your
I'm good.
homeboy share the same partner. And
Yeah.
we came on that conversation because when my
We came on
homegirls
that
hit me up, and I was like, "You ever got it? Is it common for women to have Eskimo brothers?" And I asked
So
a couple
Eskimo
chicks,
sisters?
Eskimo sisters,
Yeah.
yeah. So I asked a couple chicks, and they were like, "Nah, I would never do it." And I'm like, "Why?"
Lies.
I think they don't be knowing though.
But I also, not to put things on Chicago, but I think us in South Florida, like girls down here are so different and so high maintenance and care about status and
Appearance.
yeah, exactly. So girls down here, I feel like it wouldn't be as common because they so worried about their reputation and whatnot. So I don't think I've messed with any girls that have messed with, or y'all know what I'm trying to say, but
Your homeboys.
Miss
Yeah.
and girls that were friends with each other.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, but have you had any toxic relationships?
Yes. A lot.
Talk
Yeah.
about it, bro.
I'm partially to blame for it a lot of times. Nah, man. Like, when you're young, bro, you really don't know what a healthy
But this
relationship.
toxic thing is pretty new. Like people just now started realizing,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is toxic.
Yeah.
This isn't what a really bad relationship or
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
yeah.
No
We
one
don't-
cared before.
We don't know what or have ideas of what a healthy relationship is because nobody's really like defined what it is to you, and so like it's been like an awakening of like love languages, how you expect to be loved and how somebody else expects to be loved. So in the younger days, you're not thinking that way. You're just
trying to
thinking
get your nut off.
selfish. Yeah, you're being selfish, and so yeah, I mean I'm very vague. So a lot of like relationships. I've only been in a couple like long-term relationships, but like it's just like the difference of the love languages creates a toxic environment for both. And then if you have different ideals, like they differ, and you're not willing to compromise, then it becomes toxic in that sense as well. And I've been to a couple like that where it's just like, I need my own time to do stuff, or some girls get it like, oh, I mean, I was a handsome, strapping young lad, and I was a physical specimen. But so I had a lot of girls who were my friends, and so like in the relationship, they'd be like, you can't talk to her, and I'm like, what? Her? My friend is like, yeah, you can't talk to her. Like, yeah, I see the way she looks at you. I was like, what? Now she looks at me like I'm totally not oblivious to the situation, but like they're like, hey, you can't do that. Like I guess because it made them feel insecure or uncomfortable, and so like when you start doing that in a relationship, it just becomes very toxic, a toxic environment. It's what I've learned now from watching stuff is dating violence, and you pulling the other one away from their friends or the people that they're around because of your own insecurities or whatever. So I've been in relationships like that. I've never been a jealous person or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, well, do whatever you want. But I've been on the receiving end of a lot of stuff like that. But to say that what I've been toxic about has been like my vagueness or omitting of things.
You touched on it, like compromising with the other person. Like I feel like naturally, as humans, like we want what's good for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna be selfish and like
self-serving,
right? We're going just want to get our nut off. But right back. Like when I was younger, that's really all I cared about. I cared about myself.
I thought you were talking about in a
Like yes, no. Like yes, I cared about like what my girl wanted. Like when I was in high school or even beginning of college. Like I cared about what my girl, like if she was happy or not. But at the same time, like I cared about myself more. Like I was trying to make myself happier and all that shit. So
didn't care if my girl's happy.
I wasn't communicating. Like there was no open lines of communication. Like what do you like? What can I do better? Like all that type of shit, right? And now I think that's what changed in probably in all of us.
Yeah. Is maturity too, though, like growing up and like in trial and error and like having experiences.
So where do y'all stand where do y'all stand with friends of the opposite sex, and what happens in a situation where your girlfriend wants you to stop hanging out or talking to your female friends? What do y'all do?
So that's toxic right there.
Yeah.
And controlling. Because
but it's realistic.
You said it's realistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's real life. That's real shit.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So when in the event that it happens, it's toxic. But you love this girl, so you gonna continue to hide your female friends, or you gonna cut them off to be with your girl?
Nah, I've never cut anybody off, but I've never been put in that situation. Because one of my best friends, I think you're the only one that met her, Kendra. She came to So she's been one of my. Well, we went to middle school together. She hated me then. Then we went to high school, and then that's when we became friends. And she's still one of my best friends. Tatiana knew that going into the relationship. And Tatiana, on the flip side, she has 2 guy friends that she's extremely close with. So, I mean, we both trust each other and know that it would never come to that. So, I mean, you got to be mature and just be able to trust the other person.
And it also depends on the situation, how long you've had a friendship or relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And
so on the flip side, and sorry Tatiana, I know with new girls that pop up and I'm like, oh, they friends.
Yeah.
That's what kind of bothers her. Especially if they're attractive. But anyone that she knew when we got together, that's not a problem to her.
I heard her say that too.
Yeah.
That heard there be a discussion.
But if I were to have a new friend pop up, and especially if they're attractive, that's not as forgiving.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It depends on how long you've known that person or whatever. And I think it's a situation where you cross that bridge when you get there. Like if your girl says that, like when you assess how much you like this person at that point in time, and then that will be determined. Yeah. That'll determine what happens. But yeah. Or what you decide. So I think it's case by case.
I'd be sorry if my girlfriend had new guy friends. I ain't gonna lie. Who is these niggas? If they
just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
I mean,
it depends.
Like even being secure, like I'm comfortable with my girl having dudes before me, because who am I to tell you not to hang out with these people?
You're the same guy that is fine with open relationships.
Yeah,
I know,
and doesn't have an ego.
Well, it's different when it's different.
Whoa.
It's different.
Let's get the air quotes in
Listen,
there.
it's different when your relationship is open and it's closed.
Yeah. So real quick context for y'all. This guy brought up a while back.
Who has the biggest ego in the house?
It's definitely Phil, the person that says he doesn't have an ego. But
Phil and then maybe Luke close second.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not up there, but Phil definitely beats me.
I think it's.
I have the most confidence in the house, probably.
Yeah, you got the biggest ego.
You got the biggest.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's easily bruised. Close. In certain situations, it depends.
but I can't remember. Did you bring up? Wait, what the fuck was I just talking about?
Talking about open relationships.
Yeah, open. Did you bring that up?
Phil did.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, long story short, we had a conversation about open relationships and would we be okay with it? And Phil said that he would be okay with it, and that he does not have an ego. But you can go ahead and continue with what you were saying.
Yeah, no, if your relationship is open, then that's different. But if you're in a closed relationship, then I'm like, all right.
Even if they just friends and is Danny someone that seems extremely trustworthy?
Yeah, no, I trust my girl.
I
Submissive
just
and
want to say
trust.
submissive and passive are synonyms. So
They're not synonyms.
No.
They aren't synonyms.
But
You can make them synonyms, but that doesn't mean in that context they're synonyms because they're not.
we can
You're never gonna give it a
we can fact check this. That's not a
we
problem.
can fact check it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. The thing is, like, if our relationships, I'm not saying I wouldn't be okay with it. I'm just saying I would feel a way about it. So I'm not gonna tell her she can't have new friends, but I'd be like, damn, who's these niggas? Why she?
Bro, that definitely sounds like an ego.
Yeah, but like but that's different. She's saying new people. It's not like
I mean, we
people
know that I have an ego though, so.
But you said you don't. I'm confused.
In an open relationship.
So going back to episode
No,
one,
that
Phil
wasn't-
is the
I
most disagreeing.
I
in the
didn't say
house.
ego. I
He even
said
disagrees with himself.
I'm not even gonna go. I'm not gonna go there with y'all. Just I'm not gonna go there, fam.
No, but so like back to what I was saying is if it's a new person or a new guy friend, I think that's different than if she's had this friends forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
agreeing with you there. Like
Alright.
if they old friends, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you start hanging out with like new dudes, and I'm like, all right, and then like as a man and being a single man, I know how I used to plot. Right.
Planting seeds.
Yeah, so
dropping
I would
seeds.
never really fully make a move on a girl in a relationship, but I'd be their friend because
Yeah.
the moment they get out of a relationship, I'm about to swoop in there with my cape and save the day. So as a man that is like that, I know that I'm like, okay, what's his intentions? Because I feel like most dudes aren't females with friends with pure intentions for the most part. There are exceptions to the rules, but I'd say like most dudes,
Especially when it's not an attractive girl.
and if your girl attractive,
Yeah.
People who are
attractive.
But you like you said, like what you said, you can always tell when a dude is like trying to make a move or something like that. You know the signs because you done done it.
You know
Right?
I'm
You know what
real.
saying?
So I'm like,
you
I
know,
don't trust it.
like,
I don't
hold on,
trust it.
wait, what? I trust you, but I don't trust him. And in a moment of weakness, like he can try to, manipulate.
Why
you,
he inviting you
whatever.
over and then inviting me over? Like, what? That's
Yeah.
weird.
And why you going?
And why you going? Yeah, that's weird.
So y'all actually segued the next point pretty well. So you talked about guys approaching girls or your girl or whatever it may be, but approaching girls, that was something else that we had on the list of things to talk about. So me, I brought it up last episode, I've always been a relationship guy. Tatiana thinks I had a whole phase, and I didn't bring this up last episode. I had a little bit of a following and a 15-second of fame with Vine, where I guess I had a whole phase, but I've never really approached girls like that. The girl, like I said, in high school that I dated, I mean, obviously we'd be in class all the time, so that's how that happened. My other girlfriend, we worked together, so that's how that happened. And Tatiana is the one that contacted me. So I'm interested from y'all as niggas that used to be savages in the streets. What was that like for y'all?
Oh, I got this.
AJ, you was a savage, bro. You was a savage, bro. You just don't want to admit it. AJ was
so sly.
Yeah.
AJ was a savage,
Don't
but
let the baby
he's a
face
hidden
fool you.
savage. Yeah, he was a savage, bro.
He'll slide in on the friendship too.
Yeah, I just want to be friends.
Or a girl might be like dancing at the club and he just start dancing right next to her. Like not even with her.
I don't dance.
Okay, it's not really dancing but swaying.
AJ has this thing
And it
where
bumps into her.
And they'll talk to her.
he has this uncanny ability to start a conversation. You be like, damn, shorty, you bad.
Yeah.
AJ talking about, she's cool, she's from here. She had my Instagram, I just took a picture. I'm like, God damn.
That's true.
That would be it though. Like, that's it.
Yeah, AJ
That's
super
all that's
smooth.
needed, bro. That's all that needs. You smooth,
Yeah,
bro. You
but
smooth.
Phil, you probably the biggest
half the time
savage.
I'm passing.
You the most savage in the house. So what's your experience has been like with approaching girls? Like, how's that for
He
you?
tries to go in and make it funny.
You're super outgoing too, so I feel like
It
that's super
depends.
easy for you.
It honestly depends on, like, I try to read the room, but if it's a lot of dudes hollering at a chick, I generally don't talk to her.
And you fine with rejection, so that's nothing for you.
I'm really not though.
Really?
Nah,
I
I
feel
hate
like you
rejection actually. I'm used to it because I'm ugly, but like it's different. Like I'm not fine with rejection. I don't like it at all. But if it's like a chick that I'm like, alright, if I'm gonna beat myself up about not talking to her, I'm gonna find a way to talk to her.
Yeah.
Even if I gotta like accidentally bump into her or like something like, and if you drunk, you get that liquid courage anyway. So my angle is always try to say something stupid like, "Excuse me," if she one time she's like, "I just want to say hi to you," and she's like, "Oh, that's so stupid." I know, but you're talking to me, and then we go from there. But yeah, man, shoot or shoot. That's it. Shoot or shoot. If you ain't gonna shoot, don't come out with me. Like we out and we trying to get girls, bro. Take your shots.
I feel
And
like
with that, Phil is a good wingman.
yeah. So that's what I was gonna say.
Even if Phil might not go up to them for you, he'll gas you until you go up to them yourself. So like for me,
Luke also most easily influenced in the house.
yeah, for sure. If I go out like they said in episode 1, like I'm gonna be drinking, like I'm gonna be somewhat incoherent. And so Phil naturally will find a random girl, like an attractive girl in a club, and she could not have. Maybe she didn't even look at me once.
She looked at you, bro.
The whole night. She might not look at me once, but he'll tap me on the shoulder, and he knows I'm drunk, and he'll be like, "Yeah, that girl over there, she wants you." And immediately, like, I don't know what. There's like a light switch. It turns on. He's like, I'll end up walking over and saying something, but it's just that him in your ear, like that little bit of confidence that you needed, like when you need just a little bit of a push.
Like that little devil on your shoulder,
exactly,
telling you to do it.
Exactly. So he'll do that, or if we're out and we walk past a girl, or right, like let's say we go to the bar and we're on our way back, like to just walk around and scope out the situation. He'll look over at a girl. You might not have even said that to him. He'll be like, "My dog over there thinks you attractive. Or my dog over there loves you, or thinks you cute, or whatever." And immediately, like you kind of almost have to say something.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it makes you look more bitch if you don't.
Like you turn around and you're like, "Who is he talking to?" And immediately, like y'all make eye contact, and then you have to say something.
But they be attractive though.
Yeah, that's.
It's not like at least I don't do it to ugly chicks.
Exactly. You never have like steered me in the wrong direction. When it comes to that.
But 9 times out of 10, they really do be eyeing you. So like, what I do is, knowing that I'm ugly and having attractive homies, like I'm scoping the scene. So I'm like, all right, shorty, I think shorty peeping my dog. So if I don't gas him, you're not gonna say nothing. And then she got friends that are cute too. I gotta have you go talk to her because now I gotta talk to her friend.
Selfish, bro. That's crazy.
Self-serving.
But it's a win for both people. We've had good times. Me and Luke have had great nights using that strategy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, Luke, this shorty, I know she wanted, man. Her friend decent. Her friend ain't gotta be all that fine. She decent. I'm cool with that. So, Luke, there you go. I'll let shorty. Nah, bro, Shannon, bro, trust me. Go tell her something stupid. He get the, excuse me, how you doing, bro? Well, get the rapping. And then next thing you know, I'm on a friend. We chilling. We went here, had drinks, and we had a great night. Boom, we on. So if I don't put him on, I don't get on. So it's self-serving, but I rather, hey, it is what it is.
And then Brandon, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like you on the flip side being the cute ass nigga, like I mentioned earlier. I feel like you have the girls approaching you. Am I right or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I've had a few stalkers before. Yeah, it's actually
nice.
weird. Must be nice. I mean, yeah, and some girls have had an approach. Like girls approach me sometimes just talk to me, or like I talk to a lot of people just just being nice. I'm a nice person, and so I'm around a lot of people normally. So that's how I pretty much get girls.
No, I agree. I feel you. Like you guys saying, I try to slide on our friendship, and I'm just generally I will be friends with people.
Yeah.
And then if later on, if I feel like I might like them or something, that
opportunities
changes.
arise.
That doesn't.
I didn't call
opportunities,
I didn't call you.
It doesn't happen a lot,
Yeah.
but like it has happened.
I'm just gonna say this: I thrive in the friend zone. I thrive in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm more of an old-fashioned lover boy. I mean, look. I mean, you may think I'm not, but I like
young
that's
Drake
kind of
out
stuff
here.
That's kind of
certified lover boy.
Yeah, you know. So I'm more like I need to know you in order to, if I'm thinking about it, like date you or spend time with you. Like y'all know, like if I ain't interested in a chick, I'm like, yo, text her for me. Like I'm like, I'm not interested. But you know, man's got to do what a man's got to do, and so. Yeah, that's just how I get girls. Or I just go up to them and say the dumbest shit I've ever said in my life. And they're like, oh my God, he's funny. I'm like, bro.
It's nothing, bro.
Women really like
They just
stupid
like
shit.
you, bro. Like you said, you were a physical specimen.
Yeah. So, but now I'm out of it, and now what I say works still. So I mean, it's proven. So I just go up to them and just be totally myself, and I'm a little weird and cuckoo, and they kind of dig it. And
You also kind of met your perfect match recently too, though.
Oh, yeah. She's awesome. She's awesome. She's like, it's like if I was staring in the mirror, and I was like, you know, I'm narcissistic.
Brandon loves himself.
I love myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, yo, who the hell is this? Recently, and I was like, yo, okay, this is interesting.
Hey, the way y'all hooked up, this better work out. I ain't lying to you.
Bro, I didn't even think about it till you just said you had a couple stalkers. I don't know if I had more. I legit had one at FAU. But I don't know if I had more than one. But I just remembered it right now. I was like, yo, this is kind of...
Yeah.
You just
crazy.
explained why I call you a savage. I didn't call you a savage because you go up talk to chicks like you're a very talkative person. But you're a savage with how chicks react to you.
Uh-huh.
So, like, of all of us, you've definitely had the most clingiest women of anybody in this group. Like, on multiple occasions. On multiple occasions. To do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah. But yeah, like it was kind of weird because I mean the girl was like cute and attractive or whatever, but like she would just randomly, I barely knew her, she would just randomly show up and start watching me play pickup basketball. And like just would randomly just show up and start sitting in places I was at. I was like, yo, let me back off this. Man.
Was she a twin?
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I know off top. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Damn. But yeah, it's crazy. Is this the first time where we've all been like in some type of relationship like this?
I think so.
Yeah, we all happy in love.
That's how you know niggas getting old.
Love wins, bro.
I don't know if
really
it's love
wins.
or it's we just getting old.
Yeah.
We run out of time.
The whole group is in a relationship. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
And all got cute girls. Nobody got an ugly girl in the group.
Thank God.
But the girls got ugly, man.
But wait, have we dated an ugly girlfriend in Florida? Actually, I don't have ugly girlfriends. I'll throw it.
He doesn't think it's girl. He won't admit that his girlfriend.
I've never had an ugly
girlfriend.
But that's also because my standards are high. Like, I don't
Luke,
think
that's
I'm
super high
super.
standards.
Are you talking about like dating a girl or like just being with a girl?
Both.
I also haven't dated many people.
Yeah.
The ugliest person I've ever dated is Captain Jack, though. Jack. Like everyone I've dated or like been with, hooked up with, or whatever, has been attractive to me.
Yeah.
I'll wait it out if I don't find somebody attractive. Like I'll unless they like, I'll wait until I find someone at my standards.
Yeah.
So shallow.
I mean, it's just what I'm comfortable with.
I know, but you shallow.
It's just what I'm comfortable with.
But can you admit that you shallow? Because you can meet a girl that fits you perfect, and if she's not like an 8 or 9 in your standards, it's not gonna work. And I'm like, bruh, that y'all match. She straight G.
Did y'all ever have a thing like, oh, I can't, like what Phil's saying, that I can't be with her because she's not attractive enough, and you didn't want nobody say anything in the group?
That's never happened to me.
Nah,
I don't really care
so.
if dudes say my girl ugly because you ain't dating them. So if you ain't dating them, shut the fuck up.
But we always talk about.
Wait, what happened? I missed.
Like I don't care if
Have you ever like
I was like, what?
not like dated a girl or like got with a girl because you said, oh, the group or my friends may think she's ugly?
Oh, okay.
No. I've hooked up with a girl that my friends would probably say are ugly and I wouldn't care, but I wouldn't like
Go on. Go on.
I wouldn't. Nah.
Trying to make it seem like it was a singular event.
Elaborate, Phil.
Nah. We'll leave it at
Phil,
that.
no, Phil's standards for girls that he dates are high. They have to be doing well for themselves.
Yeah.
Right, and they have to be somewhat attractive.
So does that mean he's also shallow?
But when he no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, based on what he was saying, you were shallow.
Yeah,
I was shallow.
exactly. I think it's just he has expectations or standards.
Yeah.
Right, and everyone should have standards for themselves, right?
Luke is shallow
But at the
because
same
Luke
time-
wouldn't hook up with an ugly girl. I'd hook up with an ugly girl.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If you're dating, you date someone who you find attractive and is doing well for themselves and has a personality and all that. But when you're hooking up with somebody, bro, all bets are off.
I don't care. I'd hook up with a girl with a nice personality.
Yeah, so
I don't really give a
She could.
it's more like a 50-50, like personality over looks and looks over personality kind of thing.
Well, it's more of a, if I'm gonna date you, I gotta see wife potential in you. So it's not, it's looks, but it's also,
But we're talking about just like off a necessary like hookup, you know what I'm saying?
not if it's hookups, it's not even, not for me personally, it's not always looks. It's like I said, I just gotta get a vibe. It's a combination of both. Like, you could be ugly, but if your personality is like a 10, I rock with you, we could do this because you cool. So like that might translate. If you fine but don't got no personality, you fine. So I can't say no because you fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have the mindset of like the ugly girls give the best head. You've said that a million times. They got the best box.
No, I say you get the
I
best
thought it
head.
was the big girls that get the best head.
No,
That's a lie.
That's false.
That's a lie.
Absolutely false.
Phil told me that.
No, I've never said that about a big girl. That's an absolute lie, bro. I've told you the girl that I
That
got.
was his reasoning.
No,
Rationale.
no, my rationale was I was curious. Because I got homies that are chubby chasers.
Continue to be curious.
Yeah.
for quite a
I was
while.
only curious.
Even after he satisfied his curiosity.
I gotta keep trying.
Become more curious.
Nah, that was
Keep
just
trying.
me being savage and not caring, but that's
Well,
different.
What about snacks?
that is a girl that Brandon is referencing, not actual snacks.
Yeah.
This
Well,
girl had,
snacks.
she had snacks in her bedside table.
Cake under her bed.
I've never hung out with a woman.
She had a whole cake under her bed.
I've never hung out with a woman that had so many snacks in the house. Like, it was actually weird. Like, she didn't have real food. She was like, "Oh, I can cook you something to eat. You want like some pound cake, some cupcakes?" I'm like, "Nah, straight." So then we kick it, right? I wake up the next morning and I wake up mad early, so she's knocked out. So I'm like, all right, I'm looking for something. I forget what I'm looking for. But I'm like, let me check her drawer, see if it's in there. She has a drawer full of snacks next to her bed, like gummy bears, trolleys, Sour Patches, Swedish Fish. So I stole some, took some to go. But I was like, yo, this is wild.
God damn, man.
And then all the drinks.
We would see her every day.
Bruh,
Yeah,
and all
that's
the
facts.
drinks she had in her house were all sugar. It's like
That's
Minute Maid,
disgusting.
Tropicana, pop. I'm like, fam.
But
Like,
she had a good personality though.
nah, she didn't. I was just slizzard.
Repeat, Slizzard.
Slizzard.
Is Slizzard
Like a
over
gizzard
and
lizard.
over?
That's hilarious.
But we talked a lot about relationship stuff. Goddamn.
Oh, I want this, bro. I was thinking about it when you were saying people are clingy to me or whatever, but not. That's not the same thing. But it made me think about. Me being put or caught in situations that have nothing to do with me over and over and over.
What you mean?
Like with I don't want to say names, I guess, but
I mean,
like NFL football players.
I'm
and
blanking.
with, like,
Yeah.
We could talk about this after the pod. There's something we're not gonna say for the pod.
Yeah.
Because I really am drawing a blank.
No, I
mean, you are a
I
casualty
gave you
sometimes.
NFL football players.
Oh, yes,
And,
yes.
like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
just think back to, I mean, even with other
Yeah.
friends, like, I'm always the person that is
Yeah.
going to bail them out of a situation when they get caught up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the person they call. I've had people's girls call me and be like, "Oh, are you with this person?" when I'm half asleep, and I have to be like, "Oh, wait, what? Yeah, he just
Yeah.
left, actually,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now."
yeah.
It's because you're a good dude, AJ.
Yeah.
It all falls back to you just being a great guy.
But I mean, like I was saying, we talked a lot about that. Phil, did you have any Philisms for the people this week? If not, then we can go on to
this
some.
week? I don't think so. Stay out of dark alleys you talked about, but that was about it.
Alright, well,
That was about it for this week.
What about a relationship one or picking a barber one? Or
Relationships. What advice do I use?
Barbers in this one?
yeah, we talked about barbers.
I don't know what relationship I use for relationships. Honestly, what I tell y'all niggas? I feel like I would have told y'all this.
It's always some bullshit. I feel like Julian, because you used to always give Julian a bunch of
one
advice.
of that is really
maybe not even relationships. Maybe just going to get.
I used to give
How
Julian
to use the
great advice to get girls. I don't know if I'm good with relationship. Well, I'm good with relationship advice, and it's not me because I don't always follow my own advice. But usually, it's a situation where I'm like, all right, you should do this based on my experiences.
Yeah. But you have a philism for trying to get girls. I know you have. So.
Shit, shoot to shoot.
Alright, shoot to shoot. Be like Steph Curry out here. Yeah, shoot to shoot,
man.
But if we off that, y'all want to talk about music real quick? What we're listening to throughout the week? Some good albums y'all heard? Some you looking forward to? I mean, I could start on the way here. Luke, I mean, I've still been listening to Ty Dolla. That's been out for like 2 weeks. I love Ty Dolla $ign. I know some people haven't said they like the album. Some people have said it's too many songs, and apparently he has something else on the way. But I really like that. Have you heard Busta's album?
Not yet. I've heard a couple songs.
Busta's album is super fire. It's a lot. I haven't even finished it. That's also a lot of music. Which, are y'all a fan of all these artists putting like 20 plus songs on the album?
No. 45 minutes.
12
Sensory
15 at the most.
Yeah,
Like
12 to 15 is a good. Yeah.
I'm 30 to 45 minutes. I don't care how many tracks you have within that 30 to 35 minutes, or 30 to 45 minutes. But my album of the year so far, my favorite albums.
30 minutes is like 6 songs.
No. 30 minutes could be.
It depends how.
I think a song is usually like 3.5 minutes.
Because Daytona's one of my favorite albums. That's like 27 minutes and 7 songs. Yeah. So, but my albums that I've been listening to that my favorite this year is Benny the Butcher.
That shit's hard.
Bodie James, The Price of Tea in China, and probably Alfredo.
Okay.
That's like my favorites this year.
Alfredo was this year?
Yeah.
Oh, that was this year.
Because what's name was last year? Bandana. Oh no, not Bandana. Yeah, it was Bandana was last year.
Real quick though, because I didn't finish about Busta Rhymes, but that shit is like he samples a lot of stuff. He remakes some of his old songs. He has another song with Mariah that sounds like his "Baby If I Give It to You."
That's not
I know you. He has another song with her that sounds like that. Last night I played Luca's song with him and Vibes Cartel, where they have like a dance hall song. That shit's hard.
We
like,
just listened to that.
I rock with it.
Yeah, we listened to it on the way here. I rocked with it, but I thought the beat was underwhelming.
I thought it was good for what it was, but I said it because Snoop, he put out a reggae album, right? Yeah, I think if Busta Rhymes put out a fucking dancehall album, I would
definitely. It sounded pretty good. I listened to it.
Oh, Snoop's album?
No, Busta's.
Oh yeah.
The Don and the Boss.
He has a song with Kendrick. The whole album has a bunch of features, but it's good. But that's all I had about.
I mean, to me, I listen to the whole shit still. Like I'm listening to Fixed Tape.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I could play that shit over and over from start to finish.
Popcorn.
Yeah. Over and over from start to finish. He's got Drake on there, French Montana. I mean,
soft niggas, man.
French Montana.
So that's just what I've been listening to. Obviously, the Pop Smoke, like Aim for the Moon.
Yeah, it's still good.
That shit is fire. So I've been listening to stuff that probably released like 3 months or more ago. Nothing really like new right now.
Stuff I've been listening to. I listen to the Cool Tapes 3, I think, with Jaden Smith. It's pretty lit. But what I'm looking forward to listening to is that Man on the Moon 3.
Oh yeah, I knew you'd be hyped about that.
Yeah, boy, I saw that trailer. I was like, yo.
And Brandon's the biggest Kid Cudi fan anybody would know.
Yeah, I love Kid Cudi. Every single song he's created has been great. Even once he's just like featured on, it's amazing to me. And yeah, you can't really go wrong with me. But yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. Man on the Moon 3. We've been waiting for that for a long time. I think it's something the world needs. And also, Childish Gambino. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but he's saying there's an album coming. And
did he just recently come out with 2 songs? I've seen somebody talking about
that. Yeah,
he
said go check them out. And I was like, bet. I haven't checked them out yet. because I was up late. But yeah, man, I'm looking out for this new music to come out, man. Like, you know, but you always gotta bump that TTC, you know.
What's
Tyler,
that?
the
I
Creator.
like Tyler the Creator. Yeah.
Yeah, Igor.
Igor album of the year last year for me.
Yeah.
What was last year? 2019.
Yeah. Hey,
That
check
wasn't
the
my
camera.
album.
Yeah.
Oh, what's next tastes pretty good too. Proteges and Wizkids.
Okay.
Oh yeah, WizKids is fine.
I like Protege album too.
What do y'all think about that 21 Savage?
It was alright.
Morgan
I know
Freeman
a lot
made
of
it.
yeah, Morgan Freeman was super fire on it, but I feel like a lot of people think it's way better than maybe it's just because I'm not the biggest 21 Savage fan, but I mean it's cool for what it is. This is Metro Boomin on it, right?
Yeah, the production's great.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where the producer and the artist gel so well, it just sounds good.
Yeah,
The only,
Even like, cause Savage don't talk about shit, but it just sounds good.
yeah.
the only song is I think it's the Mr. Right Now. Mr. Right
That's the
Now.
one with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trash.
That's one. What? I like it.
I
Trash.
feel
I like it.
hates Drake. So.
I don't hate him, but that song is trash.
I think it's lit. I think it's probably one of the best on the album.
What? Oh my god.
What's your
I know.
favorite?
I like it.
Phil?
Anything without Drake.
Nah, it's running. I gotta look at the track list.
Also, Big Sean's album Detroit 2 is still super fire to me.
Big Sean's trash.
I don't fuck with Big Sean either.
No.
Glock in my lap and Mini Man are my favorite.
Hey, Big Sean, if you watch this,
Exactly. I like it because he's a snob.
Okay, shut the
Okay, I'm not gonna
fuck
go
up.
that far.
I'm just kidding. I actually like Big Sean. I'm just trying
Nah,
to.
Nipsey
the
Hussle's
bill
the
real
best
quick.
part of Big Sean's album.
No, I don't. I have to disagree.
And
Lil Wayne this year has been putting out a lot of good verses, even though we all disappointed that he was out here endorsing Trump as well as all of our favorites, Kanye.
I'm not.
But Wayne, between Sean's album, fuck, now I'm gonna forget, but there were two other verses that he had that were like super fire, and I'm like, this is the Wayne that I need.
He was on Benny's tape,
That
His
was one of
feature on
them.
Benny's
Yeah,
tape
that
was
was
good.
one of them.
and
Oh, it was YG. He had
YG,
another verse on YG's album that was super fire.
I like Friday Night Cypher. That's my favorite song on Detroit.
I have to skip to like 5 or 7. I forget what. I think it's like the 5-minute mark. I can't listen to the beginning. I just want to hear.
What?
I just want to hear Big Sean. I just want to hear Royce the 5'9" and Eminem. Everyone else, I
Bro,
can
you
do it.
wildin'.
And I think Sada Baby is.
His part's fire. It's like one of my favorite parts on the song.
I mean, I think I'm forced to listen to it. I think he's right after Big Sean, but I forget. Did you have anything, AJ?
No, not really. I listen to a bunch of stuff, but I don't really keep up with what's new or what.
Yeah.
But you always gotta bump that classical music, classic rock. You know. I love classical
Yeah,
rock.
recently, actually, I've been listening to a lot of ska punk, which just makes me think of like early 2000s, like the Disney movie Brink, and like any X Games, like that type of music. Like just listen to old fucking ska punk, and you'll know exactly
I
if
got
you're.
no idea who that is.
It's not a person; it's just like a genre of music, but it just makes me think of
182 and stuff like that.
kind of like No Doubt. They're kind of. I'll play some after because we still don't know the music restrictions on YouTube and Apple Music and Spotify and all that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. But y'all have anything else?
Nah,
And
that's
we
all I
good.
got,
Just
man.
last thing, open up your playlist, everybody. Go out there and listen to different things.
Yeah.
man. 'Cause I'm telling you, there's
It
you may
can't.
be stuck on hip hop and all that, but you can go listen to some blues, some rock,
That was
some
me.
country. I
Listen to
mean,
country.
they always
Yeah,
spit
Luke
some
loves
good
country
stuff,
Fucking
man.
love
It's just
He loves country. I can't.
like as you can say, like people like rediscovered Fleetwood Mac Dreams.
Yeah.
Like, that's an old song. People, oh, this is awesome. Like, yeah, if you step outside these like genres you're always listening to, you're gonna find something.
It can definitely be overwhelming with how much music there is now with streaming, but I mean, just look up a fucking basic ass playlist that's already been created, and you'll find some dope shit.
I think the country thing for Luke is a little bit of Cape Foodiness too.
Yeah, it's all love songs and spending my life and dying with you.
You got exposed. You got exposed to it. From
It's nice to cruise to.
No,
From
it is
Kingston.
not.
Country's
bro.
buns, bro.
If I'm
Get
driving
the
on
fuck
road,
out.
No,
Bro,
country's
his
ass.
girl likes it, so he likes it.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, I
'Cause-
like it because I like it.
Cause I like it because it made my girl happy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what it is.
That's a Lukeism for this.
I like it because it made my girl happy.
Lukeism for this.
But if y'all have nothing else, definitely appreciate y'all tuning in and watching and listening to the second episode of Save It for the Pod. pod.
Save it for the pod.
Man, this is fun. I'm glad that we finally doing this.
Look, he's going to chili cook-off this year.
Ooh.
He's gonna do a Confederate
He's gonna wear
flag.
some jorts, man.
Mega 20.
He's gonna wear some
Bro,
jorts.
relax. Relax.
Cowboy
I'm
boots.
playing. I'm playing.
Chill,
I am not,
Cowboy boots.
2024 though, he can't get elected.
But for the listeners and viewers, definitely give us feedback. Let us know what you want to hear more about, or if there's something you didn't enjoy about the podcast. I mean, obviously, we're going to do what we doing. Not everything is going to be about the fans, but we definitely want to hear what y'all think. If there's any segments y'all want to hear about us talk about, if y'all have any questions for us, y'all want relationship advice, life advice, definitely let us know.
Even if it's not advice, it's just like you want to do a Q&A or just have questions you want to
Put it in
answer
the
or someone.
comments below.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Like,
Where are they gonna put them, Luke?
Comments below.
Because we got a bunch of lit stories that we just can't wait to tell y'all.
and like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit.
Just wait till we get to the Chicago trip. You'll love it.
Yeah, we only getting started.
Because Brandon wasn't really
But
on the host.
Y'all take it easy.
Hey,
Save it for the pod.
hey. We can start this all over again.
That's a wrap. That'd actually be a great way to close. Brandon wasn't really on the host.